Sham. Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is your Vedic astrology coach Rajat Kapoor and welcome to my channel The Legit Astrologer. In my channel I make videos on Vedic astrology, I talk about transits, and today this video is about the great Shani or Saturn, and as it prepares for its direct movement, I am bringing this video to you with regards to understanding the energies of Saturn and how to read its direct transit between 2025 through 2026. On 28th of November, Saturn is going to move direct in the sign of Pisces, which is ruled by Jupiter. It will also be under the benefic aspect of Jupiter as it makes this direct transit, and it will stay in a direct motion till 26th of July 2026 in the sign of Pisces. During this time, the first few months, you're going to witness similar patterns in your life which was there between April through August, because Shani will start its direct motion at 0 degree in Pisces. So it is having a restart, it is bringing in fresh perspective. Some interesting facts about the great Shani, the great Saturn. And of course, I can speak about Saturn for hours and hours, but here are some interesting facts that I present to you. Saturn rules the sign of Capricorn, which is its home, and also rules the sign of Aquarius, which is the Mool Trikon sign of Saturn. So its home is Capricorn and the office space is Aquarius. Saturn is a very traditional graha and it likes to work towards the family. So people who have prominent placements of Saturn must have this motto in life that you have to work towards the family, because its home and office, second house is its office space from its home, which represents or is the house of family. Saturn is the slowest of them all. He is Karam Karak for various reasons. And if you notice this fact that Shani is the only graha that goes retrograde 3 times in a particular sign. And even in the sign of Pisces, it is going to go retrograde 3 times. One that has already happened in 2025, it will go retrograde in 2026, and also in 2027, it will go retrograde when it moves to Aries and moves back to the sign of Pisces. Therefore, this brings in heavy karma, because retrogression is very closely linked to past life karmas. Saturn's linked to Shane. He is a slow moving planet. Takes about 2.5 years approximately from moving from one sign to the other. Takes 30 years to cover the entire zodiac belt. Saturn's transit is called Gajagati. It is a slow moving walk of an elephant. It will give you the desired results, it will give you what it wants, and of course it will give you the desired outcome in terms of what you want, but it will only give you when he wants to give you the result. It gets debilitated in the sign of Aries and it gets exalted in the sign of Libra. There is a reason for this as well, because Aries as a sign is ruled by Mars and it is a domain of Sun, where the king gets exalted. Libra is the marketplace. Now I always say that Saturn is a very poor planet. It has a high sense of desire as well. It has hunger for growth, and that is something which I will explain it to you in the few minutes with regards to its aspects. But Libra as a sign represents the marketplace. So you must associate Saturn towards a beggar. A beggar is also a human being. We all are beggars. Sometimes we beg to God, like a priest who begs to God and a beggar who begs to other human beings. Where would a beggar thrive? They will have most chances to beg and of course make some gains at a marketplace, because people are there to spend money, people are eating food, and of course out of compassion they can offer some to the beggars as well. Another interesting aspect is that he rules the sign of Capricorn. Capricorn is very much closely associated to a graveyard, and these are places wherein a poor person might like to live, because the prices of real estate or property would be much on the lower side compared to suburbs, compared to the busy, hustling, bustling city environment. And this is where someone who is poor, who could financially not afford, would not mind living in such places. Saturn from a caste or a Varna point of view is associated to the Shudra family or the Shudra caste. And this means Saturn is someone who is a slow learner. It is an extremely slow paced planet. It is a very traditional graha. It brings traditions. It is linked to all the old people. By tradition, I would mean that if Saturn is the highest degree, if it is your Atma Karaka or the Amatya Karaka, the second highest degree planet, or if it is associated to prominent houses, let's say the quadrant houses, it promotes tradition within families. There's a greater possibility that either your education or your line of work would be very much linked to either your father, mother, or your teacher, your guru. Therefore, respecting our elders is the most appropriate remedy for Saturn, because Saturn would pray to the elders. He would say, Matri Devo Bhava, Pitri Devo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava, which means I give my due regards and respect towards the mother, towards my father, and towards my Acharya or the Guru. And this is a Mool mantra which you can use for any Saturn related concerns. Talking about Saturn's aspect, it has given a special aspect being the outer planet, which is 3rd from its position and 10th from its position. These are the Upachaya aspects, which means these are the aspects of growth. And this is a 100% drishti that Saturn has. Saturn also has Kona aspects, or the 5th and the 9th aspect, which is only mere 25%. It also has the 4th and the 8th aspect, which is only 50%. So it has very poor knowledge, because 5th and 9th houses are about knowledge. It has very average protection, because the 4th and the 8th is about protection. It has 75% aspect of desire, which is 7th from itself. While moving in the sign of Pisces, it is aspecting the sign of Virgo, which is a 75% aspect. So it has high amount of desire, and it has the power of labor. He is the hard worker of them all, which has 100% 3rd and the 10th aspect from its position. So while moving through Pisces, it is aspecting the sign of Taurus and the sign of Sagittarius by its 3rd and the 10th special aspect. Therefore, Saturn gives you something which no other planet or graha can give. It gives you the power of labor. Towards the end of the day, in order to become successful in life, 90% it is all about labor, it is all about your hard work. Luck would only play 10% of the role. And if you embrace the power of labor, then this Gajagati, or the transit of Saturn, for you becomes Dhana Yatra. It is wealth giving, and Saturn gives you enormous amount of resources, enormous amount of wealth, because towards the end of the day, he is the king maker. He has the capacity to make anyone king in terms of their domain, in terms of what they do. Condition if you leverage the power of labor. In my experience, I have seen Saturn working very well in the signs that are ruled by Jupiter, which is Sagittarius and Pisces. In Pisces, it does exceptionally well. Sometimes it will do even better compared to Saturn in the sign of Capricorn, because this is where the time for reset, rejuvenation, and of course, this is where, from a natural point of view, Saturn is completing its karmic cycle, which means it has already achieved the kind of maturity which is expected of Saturn, and therefore it has great capacity to excel. Saturn is slow, so it takes a lot of time in order to feel settled in one particular sign. It has just started its transit this year itself, and now it is going to be moving in a direct motion. So in the next leg of transit, it is going to feel much more comfortable, much more at ease, and we could expect certain work to further progress without any delays. Another important aspect of why we are in this world, it is also because of Saturn. You talk about life events. There are people who get married, there are people who don't get married, there are people who will have kids, don't have kids, those who will have a family, don't have family, those who will go for higher education, those people who would not go for higher education. There will be dropouts as well. There are a lot of choices that we make in this world. Most of the life events, most of the things that we are surrounded with, either there is an element of if, but, or not, if, not, if, not. There's only two events that are most certain in life. There is birth and there is death. Saturn is the Ayush Karak, and we are in this world because one of our past life was ended, and therefore we've come to fulfill our karmas, and he becomes the Karam Karak, and he's the primary factor for all the individuals who are living in this world, who are experiencing the bhoga of this planet Earth, and we are here to do our karmas.